And then we'll just work our way through the episode. I have a nice superlative segment that I'm excited about. It's gonna be good.
Oh boy.
Oh god, I'm terrible with superlatives.
Try to spice this up for the 70 viewers that watch it. Okay, so we're live. So welcome everyone. We just finished episode 12 of Syrvivor Syracuse season 2. With me, I have Lydia from season 3. She'll be participating in the future season of Syrvivor Syracuse following this season. We have Catherine and Valentina, both from season 1, both alums, and we'll be discussing today's episode. As you guys know, Erica was the boot this week, so she will be joining us a bit of the ways into the live show. How's it going, Sharu? Good to see you. And yeah, so let's start it off. So we enter the final 7, 2 people on the outs, and the majority 5 that has been running things for about 4 weeks from now, 3 weeks. That said, we started off with the endurance challenge. Valentina, you were there, but what did you guys think of this challenge watching it?
It looked really difficult, that's for sure. Like such an awkward position to like hold the plank, but yeah, it was a good showdown at the end between Derek and Erica, so that was fun to watch.
No, I agree. It looked like tough, and not just like college Survivor tough. Like it just looked tough, period.
Yeah.
You know, I remember doing it, and I gave up like 2 seconds in. I was like, this is not.
I'm pretty sure Tom stopped the video or didn't start the video in time because it's so quick we dropped. Speaking of the challenge, we have Derek and Erica, our final 2 there. Yeah, that was a tough challenge. Ben, one of my close friends, actually made that challenge on the fly because we squeezed the challenge in before going online due to COVID. But yeah, with that said, Derek walked away with the immunity for this week, the second one of his tenure post-merge. What do you think of Derek here? I mean, he comes across as this guy who's kind of like a grandpa. No offense, Derek. But he's pulling off these physical challenges, Dizzy Bet, and now this. What did you make of Derek this episode?
Well, he wasn't as stressed out as previous vlogs. I think he's kind of underestimated in challenges, but he definitely proved himself, even though Erica was kind of disqualified. But he can definitely hold his own. So, yeah, I think the group will have to look out for him in the future.
That's fair. Yeah, it's true that Austin and Mike usually kind of get the big headlights for the challenge beasts. With Sean, that was last week, but Derek did not get enough credit there. So props to Derek. And props to Erica for making it that far. That said, I mean, you guys have had challenge experiences before. When it comes down to something that close, how difficult did you think it was for Erica to just be that close to being safe and then having it go the other way?
I mean, I'm sure it felt absolutely horrible, especially like knowing that like you have to win if you want to stay. I mean, like there's always the chance that like if you don't win, that like you will be the one voted out. But like when you know that like it really, really matters, it's just like gotta feel absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And even like, I mean, I know she came to terms by the time she like actually went home, but like at the same time, like I don't know, just thinking that like you were that close and you went home that week, and that could have been that one thing that like saved you. It's a rough one.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Rosen, a very good week not to wear jeans. Let me know. Jeans wearing challenges actually proves very good dividends in future seasons. So, I mean, who knows? I honestly don't know why I didn't ruin my aesthetic. That is true. That is very true. Derek started talking the memes this week. Valentina, get it done.
Oh, yeah.
With that said, we enter into the after challenge for this episode, and it's kind of just the same old Summer Erica on the outs, and the 5 just sticking together.
That's getting so annoying.
That's it. How do you feel for Summer and Erica in this position? It seemed like, especially with Erica's vlog, it seemed like there's nothing really she could have done. What do you guys think?
Well, the way I see it is like, I'm not going to cap, like, based on last episode, like, this is basically what I expected to happen for this episode. And I wouldn't say, like, there wasn't anything she could do this episode, but like, I feel like you can always look back and be like, oh, well, she couldn't do anything this episode because she didn't do things she needed to do, like, 1 episode ago, like 2 ago, 3 ago, like that kind of thing. And it's like a long game, and like maybe not enough long game like setup to like have relationships to like be the ones like instead of Summer.
Mm-hmm. Good insight. I hear it.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll mute myself when other people are yes.
Anyway, like, it's a weird thing just because, like, when, like, of course, hindsight's 2020, but also it's like, you don't want to talk to too many people and look like a snake, look fake, look like whatever. But at the same time, obviously, like Lydia said, like, you have to make connections. You have to, like, set those pieces up for, even if it's not for that week, not for the present, but like in the future, you know?
That's true. And I think Summer did that very well here. And Erica was in a harder position than Summer because Erica literally stabbed everyone on that side before. Summer had a clean slate with everyone, and she made it prevalent that she's been talking to Derek and Mike for like 2 weeks. And who knows what'll happen in the next episode. Summer said she's going to look with Derek. Who knows if it will happen. Moving forward in the episode, we see Mike gets the immunity idol clue. He doesn't find it. Classic Mike. And then we look over to Addie and Geneva. And before addressing the idol, they find a fake idol clue that was hidden by Hannah literally, 3 months before? What is your take of Hannah's presence still readily available in this season?
It's insane the amount of work she put into just like all the fake idols, the clues. It's kind of ridiculous. So the fact that we're like so many weeks into this game and people found that clue, they knew it was fake right away. So I think that was like a good laugh for them. But
too good to be one of my works. Are you kidding me?
I know.
No, I was also going to say it's like kind of funny, like where she placed them and stuff like that. Because even if you go all the way back to like with the fake one, she put, well, I guess the one that Mike found, like places where you really would find them, and the fact that they're finding them like places that the real idols are. I don't know. I mean, looking back, like it's good insight. Like maybe she should place idols in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, but with that, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how that paper was still in pristine perfection after all of that snow. I simply just don't know how she did it, honestly. Haru said, it's most likely exploding next week. It's most likely exploding next week. No, it's not that. But as the other side made it clear that whoever got to the end, their side was receiving all jury votes, so it's logical for the 5 states to get strong. And that makes sense. I mean, if I were in the 5th position, I don't know if you guys agree, but I don't think this was the time, especially when Mike said, you know, we're always talking about the time to flip, and this is just not the time. That said, move forward with this idol hunt. We see Addie finding an idol. What do you guys view of this? Do you think this will be good for her game? She kind of references that, I don't know if it's good for my game or not. I don't know if I'm going to play it. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be good for her?
For the most part, yeah. I think, you know, obviously idols can be a hermetic, but like at this point, when like the numbers are dwindling down, and of course, like her alliance is going to be turning on each other at some point, even if it gets you to Final Four, hell, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's good. But,
do you think this idol could leverage her game in any way that she has a better chance to win?
Not like a resume can, but
if she uses it correctly, I think it could. I think if it's like everyone wants to turn on her or she has some sort of crazy plan to play it, I think that could really work to her advantage. But yeah, I don't know. As of now, it's still up in the air for me.
Yeah. We will see. What's next? Next in the episode, so we kind of get a jumbled bag of Erica kind of saying, I've tried my hardest. I'm surprised I've made it this far. The episode title, when I'm on death row waiting for my execution date. We kind of touched upon it earlier, but do you feel for Erica here? I mean, it's kind of tough, her position. What do you think?
I thought she had a pretty strong game pre-merge and even kind of post-merge too, but her alliance kind of fell apart and that was kind of like on her too. So yeah, tough to see her go, but just the way things played out, it was kind of inevitable for her, I think.
I don't know. You don't have to, though. I don't know what that means, Erica. In addition to that, we see Summer kind of talking about what she plans to do next week. She's not giving up. I still have some avenues with Derek and Mike. Do you think this will be exploited next week? Do you think it will actually flip, or do you think Summer is just next one on the chopping block?
I think there's either going to be a flip, like with Summer and Mike and Derek onto Geneva, and Geneva's going to get voted out, or something else is going to go down with like Austin and whoever, and Mike or Derek are going to go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, good point. Geneva's in an interesting spot here. I think Mike put it clearly that he feels that Geneva is the one person to flip. Why do you guys think so? I don't know.
Well, I think she's been open in the past to it, and so I think that's caused some mistrust between Mike and Geneva. So I think he can be a little paranoid about that.
I don't know.
I mean, it is true that like the other four were on, their like original tribe together. So I mean, as much as that like goes away, like maybe there's like a part of them that feels like it hasn't, and like Geneva has like been to so many tribals, like she's been working so hard to like gain the positioning that she has and like stay in the game for so long. I don't know, that she kind of does seem like she's willing to do anything, and she's been the person who's like been that in between person, like with the, I guess, like agency to flip if she wanted to. So like constantly having that power. I mean, I guess you could say that like the fact that she didn't should show that she's loyal. But like it's still uncomfortable that she's the one who has like that position and like ability and they don't.
That is true.
I also love saying, and I don't know if it's true or not, but at this moment I feel like it's true. I feel like she is the least likely to put emotions into the game, and I think that goes into loyalty and like deciding whether to flip or not. But like she's all, I don't know, I just feel like I know a few of them look at the game more objectively, but I don't know, I definitely think she's one of those people that would be the most okay with flipping and probably could recover from it pretty well. But yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely have to see in the next episode what happens. Before Erica comes in, I want to talk about Mike for a second. So this is the second back to back that Mike. It seems like he and Derek are pretty much at the top. Mike this week, though, however, was very paranoid someone was going to flip on him, especially Geneva. Somehow, he has the trust of Addie, in that Addie told him about the idol, and Mike made this kind of counter plan just in case Geneva were to flip. Addie could put the idol on Mike, and yada, yada, yada. Do you think Mike's paranoia could cost him later down the line, or do you think that's just a casual thing that comes up when, you're on the top pretty much?
It can get dangerous. You can, especially when like I think anything you kind of do at this point could blow up your game's like aggressive, but you know what I mean. Especially if like I don't know. I think especially if he doesn't, isn't outward with the paranoia, maybe that's a little bit better. But hey, paranoia can be a dangerous ass thing, especially when the numbers are so low,
Yeah, I can see it going both ways where he's like really paranoid and it can cost him, or he can, as Valentina said, kind of internalize and vlog about his paranoia instead of talking to everyone and like freaking out to them. But yeah, we'll see because his vlogs can be pretty entertaining to watch. So, yeah.
That is true. Him and Derek both. We saw a different side of Derek this week, but we'll get to that later. But right now, we have our episode 12 boot coming in, so let's bring in Erica. Erica, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. Bittersweet, of course. I have a lot of questions for sure, but Catherine, Valentina, Lydia, feel free to interject with any questions. Erica, the first question I have for this week, did it really feel like you were on death row? Like, did it really feel like with everything that happened throughout the season, there was nowhere to go?
I think it felt like death row, but in the sense that in some ways I felt like I was not guilty. And it was frustrating knowing that, like, okay, it's going to be probably Jack first to get the numbers, and it's going to be this person, then this person, then this person, and where do I fall in that order? But then, yeah, it really did feel like death row because I was just waiting for it, and I knew that I had broken so many ties already that I didn't know what I could even do in what week to try to get myself back in. But it was frustrating.
Sorry, you can't have to mute and then unmute because of this whatever fuzz is going on. No, that's very true. I mean, it was tough to see. I mean, it really showed with the season how divided the two sides were. And you being the person that flipped from Zeleny to Maroon 9, I mean, you were kind of just out there. It was hard for you to go back if you could have. I mean, who knows? Was there any part in the week? Because there was some talk about Geneva flipping. Was there any inkling that you would have worked with Mike to get out Geneva?
Well,
in that relationship?
My target was never going to be Geneva if I could get something done. But there's a lot of talk about Summer and Abby talking to the girls, and I was never a part of that. I never wanted that. I didn't support it. I didn't know what happened with what was already done. So in the group sense, if Abby and Summer did get Geneva and Addie to work with us, I would have worked with them. Going back to Austin and Mike was never really something that I thought I could do. I didn't think there was ever going to be a situation where the final three would be the freshman three. That was just off the table. Because going back to transition, I was in such a weird spot that I kind of let them fall to the side, and I didn't want to drag them into everything that I was putting myself into. So I honestly hadn't talked to Mike or Austin since pre-transition.
Speaking about the transition, so I'd love to say this, but you had one of the most not chaotic, you had one of the most wild, I'll say, pre-merges that I've ever seen with all the twists that you received. How different was it after, how different was your pre-merge to your post-merge? Do you think it was like two different games?
Yeah, I guess it was two different games, but pre-merge, I kind of just felt, honestly, like I didn't really fit on the Zeleny tribe. Like I didn't know what was happening on Maroon 9, but I just felt like that, like, I don't belong on Zeleny. Like something is just weird. So post, obviously I was happy to get Hannah out because we thought about doing that weeks prior and we just wanted it. But post merge, it turned into, okay, I really like these people, and I really want to keep playing with these people and getting to know them better and building friendships. So then I guess I kind of let the strategic game go to the side a little bit.
Fair enough. Did you like the trick with all the snake advantages that you held? I mean, what did you have? You had the tribe swapper. You had other things. I don't even remember.
The other one, I don't even remember what the other one was. But I mean, I liked them. I liked having control over them, like knowing what they were when I had them. Everyone loves to talk about the fact that I didn't use the tribe swap one, but I would just like to say that was not the downfall of our alliance. We still had numbers to make a move weeks after that, even though I take all the blame for that, apparently. I think I didn't have anything wrong with the snakes twist. I think the twist that every week I was like, oh, I hate this, was just so many idols. So I think the snake was a really cool thing to play with, but at the same time, you hate when it's you.
Fair enough. One week I want to point out is the week, I forgot, I think it was when Andrew went home, where no one listened to you. What happened?
A couple of those weeks, by the way.
What was that?
There were a couple of those weeks, but
Right. What happened during that week? Because I feel like, I mean, if I recall, Abby had her steal a vote. I recall you in a vlog saying they're going for a home run. We should have just batted for the single. You had the numbers with the steal a vote, and it could have dictated the entire game differently. I mean, honestly, you could have won from that point. What do you think? Do you regret anything from that moment that you didn't do, or what do you think? I don't know.
that week was super frustrating because I had worked with no one else had worked really with Addie, but I had, because I was on Zeleny with her the entire first half of the game. And then with Geneva, like I'd been with her on the Vicavora Tribe too, and I was like, guys, I'm the only person who's worked with tried to work with both of these players. I know more than probably you guys do about what they're going to think, and I don't think it's a good idea to reach out to them. What we should do, and what we said the very first day, right after, because Jack went home before Andrew, right? I think that day, right after that tribal, we said we're not saying anything to anybody this week, because that's what screwed us over that week when Summer called Derek right before tribal or whatever happened. And it was super frustrating because all of a sudden the plan was no longer, we're not talking to anybody. It was, we're going to go talk to these girls and try to convince them to flip, when we had it right in the palm of our hands. And then I kept saying, and right before tribal, I texted at 2 a.m. one night, the night before tribal, and I said, guys, I really think that we should vote a girl. Like, I really just don't think this is a good idea. And Abby said, no, they're 100% with us. They're really with us. I really think it's going to work. And I was jumping up and down with Mitch in my confessional afterwards, because even sitting 10 minutes before tribal, Sean and I were like, this is maybe not a good idea. And Andrew, I'm really sorry that you also feel the same way as us, and you're the one who's going to be down for it. It was really frustrating.
Oh, that's tough. That position was, oh man. I remember when you filmed that confessional with Mitch. Oh God. Here's a good question from Derek, with the transitional tribe, or the 3 tribes, whatever. Why did you choose Mitch over Geneva during that?
I get asked this question twice a month. That was the week where there was the extra drama with Jack and Addie and I. And genuinely, I was so floored by what happened before tribal that I wasn't thinking about the game. Like, I was not focused. And I thought, there was a part of me that was thinking before any of that had happened, maybe I actually can work with Geneva. Maybe she's being genuine. maybe. I knew I had an idol, so it really didn't matter who. Like, I wasn't worried that I was going to go home. And I thought maybe I can vote with Geneva. Maybe she'll work with me in the future and she can come on to the six of us, which I wouldn't have if I were her, so I don't blame her. But I just thought Mitch, I haven't gotten close enough with him. I don't think any of my other alliance has gotten close with him. I don't think we could flip him, but I know that Jack and Geneva have a long history and maybe something could work there, but my head wasn't in the game.
Fair enough. The Mitch vote. Sad.
I'm sorry, Mitch.
Mitch had a better relationship with the e-board than anyone in the cast, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
I have a question.
Sure.
So this episode, you said that you were tired of, unless I, misunderstood, you said that you were tired of building other people's resumes. You want to name people? You want to name?
I think this was last episode. I texted Austin and Mike, and for both of them, I was like, look, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, I know you want to win this game, and if you want to win the game, you're going to have to vote out the other one. You're just going to have to do it. And Austin's response basically was like, thanks, but no thanks. And I don't remember what Mike said, but that's besides the point. And it was just frustrating that I honestly don't even know why I said that, but I probably had a good reason for saying that in the moment, but all gone out of my head. But
I think you say crazy shit.
I know, crazy stuff like saying that Geneva was never going to get my vote, which is false. Geneva, No spoilers.
Let's see. I guess a good question. I don't have any more questions before I bring a really good question into the fold. So, a big part of this season, hopefully you were expecting this, was when you flipped over to the Maroon side. Basically, you and Jack formed a good relationship. Is there any updates on that relationship or what happened during those weeks or weeks after the show? What do you have to offer?
Well,
say what you are comfortable with saying. Don't make Luke make you say anything.
Anything for you, Valentina.
This is a tell-all. I have to dig deep.
I flipped because I really just wanted Hannah out of the game, and I wasn't expecting anything. I knew I was going to be on the bottom of whatever alliance. I knew I was probably next to go if it worked out that way, and it didn't with the tribe swap. I flipped with purely game-related reasons, and it turned into a really, 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 really good friendship between the six of us and then Sean. Really, really good friendship with Jack turned into a little bit more. We've been dating since March, so
woo!
Yeah. But yeah, that's the update.
There you have it, folks. Kelp and Sharu.
What?
I'm just talking to our two fans in the chat. That's not a part of this season.
Speaking of that, this reminded me, do you have any notable opinions about that one time when the whole Jack was in your room and everyone was like texting him and that whole?
Oh, good question.
Do I have notable opinions on the whole topic? Yes. And Valentina, I think you know my notable opinions on the topic. I think, to all of you fans watching, that night had nothing to do with the game, and people who didn't know what was going on thought it was part of the game and brought it in as being part of the game, which it wasn't, and that led to bigger issues, if you want to call them issues. So no further comment on that, but it was outside of the game that people who didn't know what it was about assumed it was part of the game, which I can't blame them for, but
Fair enough. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the inside scoop on that. And I wish you and Jack a lot of good things. I'm glad you guys are still going strong. It's almost a year. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. For our superlative of this episode, before I let you go, Erica, I've decided to go through every single one and give them a song based on. Oh, where did your banner go? Hold on. Based on their season or what they did during this episode.
Oh boy.
For your song, you did "Hot and Cold" by Katy Perry. Speak to us, just the trajectory of your game just felt very hot and cold. It's like one time you were up against the world, had all these advantages. Next time, no one's listening to you, and you just lose all the numbers. Do you think this is an accurate representation?
Yes, of what was going on in here. Yes, it's very accurate. But I will say, which kind of ties into like, if I had a regret, what would my regret be? I really wish I had spoken up and really gone for the things that I had a feeling would work. Like that, we could have gotten Hannah out that week, 2?
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a matter of, do I want to be that person that does that flips on her tribe now? Like, we're literally week 2, like day 4 of Real Survivor. Like, that's not what anybody wants to do. And we all three of us kind of wimped out. And then no one listened to me because I didn't put my foot down and say, no, like, I'm not going to vote that way. If that's what's happening, I'm not going to do it. Sorry. And Andrew, I apologize, but so I wish I'd put my foot down so then it wouldn't have been so wishy-washy. But also, everyone needs to get off my back about not swapping tribes. It's really not my fault. I'm not going to name names, but it is somebody else's fault.
Fair enough.
I have a question. If your season, I actually really like this question. If your season was like a movie, what would like it be called?
What would it be called?
Or like an existing movie. Yeah, let's just like an existing movie.
Like my season with me as the main character, or the season?
Yeah. Both.
That's hard. I really don't know. I really don't know. But it did make me think of like, I was watching back to the whole like after Andrew was voted out and the drama with all the girls, not including me. I was watching Survivor Guatemala like a week ago or whenever that episode aired, and I was like, I really feel like Rafe, like realizing that you're aligned with all the bad guys and you're, wait, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, I signed up for the wrong group, and that's what I would equate it to.
Fair enough. My answer to that question was Madagascar Escape to Africa.
What the?
I kind of want the explanation on that one.
Because, in Madagascar, they're a part of the zoo, and they go to Africa. They don't expect what they're expecting. And when people enter this game, they expected something totally different. And then, boom, it just hit them like a truck. I don't know. It was off the cuff.
With that.
That's a good one. I mean, yeah, I'll take it.
Valentina, what's your answer?
For you guys?
Yeah.
Think of a song. I can't think of a
Green Studies major.
Oh fuck! Don't bring that in. I'm gonna get back to you because I'm gonna get back to you because I need
It's a cop out. Such a big cop out.
Can't answer my own question.
Anyways, Erica, thank you once again for enriching us with the gameplay this season. I wish you and everything the best of luck with everything. And yeah, thank you.
Let's you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
And there we have it. Let me unmute people. It's the echo. All right. So, there's Erica. We move on to the final 6. And we have the rest of the superlatives. So, we'll start off with, like we said, Mike. So for Mike, I gave the superlative of, this is a lyric, but shake it like a paranoid picture. Anyone want to talk about Mike? How do you think Mike will progress in the later game?
I'm still perplexed about the choice.
I don't know. I just made this like, to be honest. What do you think? Think Mike has what it takes to finish it?
I think that Mike is really well positioned socially. Like everybody goes to Mike, and everybody like thinks they have Mike, right? But I don't know. At the same time, he is so paranoid and thinks everybody's against him, when like in reality, like maybe some people, like maybe it's in the back of their minds and they just haven't really talked about it, but they're like, oh, like I can't take Mike to the end, that kind of thing. So like if slash when, I do think it could be because he like does something dumb, because he is like freaking out, or like accidentally takes out somebody who would have taken him to the end, or just, you know, like I feel like when people get like really paranoid, they just like come across as really sus, and then that like puts a target on your back because like people think you have something to hide.
Incredible. Yeah. Great. So let's move on to the next person. A different side of this person, but Derek, cool, calm, and collected. Do you think we'll see more of Derek moving forward? And do you think Derek has what it takes to finish it out?
This definitely wasn't the words I would think of for him, but we'll see how his game continues. He definitely could keep winning challenges. Yeah, and I think he has a good relationship with Mike that can either work against him or work in his favor.
Fair enough.
And I think because he played like an honest game, that I think is brownie points for some people, especially those that were like would vote with emotions, that would be salty jurors or whatever. You know what I mean? So maybe that's not my favorite type of gameplay, but you know, he's a wonderful person and I love him.
Derek, nah, Luke. On a prayer. Let it be known that Derek, week 1, when he almost went out, went down on his knees and started praying. So he might be still alive on that prayer. So that might have been a better song for Derek. Moving forward, we see a little bit of Austin this episode. Probably the least we've seen of Austin, but Austin's kind of in this position where he's in the middle of Addie, Geneva, Mike, Derek, and he's kind of like, I'm fine with the game I played. If I lose to these people, you know, I'm okay with that. I gave Austin, the dog days are over. You know, he's been saved twice by idols. Do you think Austin's in a good enough position and a good enough game to make it towards the end? Or do you think he still has to do some other moves?
I mean, I definitely think Austin could get to the end and have like a good case if he like just handles like these last few like votes well. I mean, because they've said like a bunch of times, like, I mean, like I like Addie, but like she's obviously not well liked by the jury. So if he can like figure out a way to go with her, then I don't know, like I see most people voting for him. And you know, like if everything he does is like obviously like carefully thought out. So like I think he would be able to like present like a really good like case and like really speak for himself and advocate for himself. And I feel like he's also just like very aware of the dynamics like in his alliance. So I could see him like recognizing that like it's time for him to like flip and like push, and just making sure that he's the one who decided that they were all going to flip and like make the move and like make the decision on who to get out. Like if that gets him to the end, then like that would be really good for him. Like if he's just like pulled along to the end, then like it's a different story.
That's it. I feel like if he can prove, because I feel like he's the type of player that's very low key, like very much behind the scenes, and that's amazing, and that is like very commendable. Of course, that's how everyone kind of dreams of playing. My thing is, will he be able to prove that? to a jury. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Like kind of what Lydia was alluding to. I think it just depends who else is up there, and how they try to prove themselves that they can win. I think, and then of course how he positions his argument and that. But mayhaps, as Paul would say.
Yes. Oh, Paul. Paul will be probably in one of the next 2 weeks for the after show, by the way. Moving forward, let's go to Addie. Addie, not really a song, against another lyric. I get knocked down, but I get up again. What do we think of Addie? She has an idol now. You know, people have been telling her she's not getting any jury votes, but she has this idol now. She can make moves. She's talking to Geneva, Mike. Do you think she needs to do something else to make it to the end and get some jury votes, or what do you think is in the cards for Addie?
I definitely think she could make it to the finals, and the idol can definitely help her get there. And she has made moves in the past, especially like starting with the Aaron vote at the beginning. So she has like moves under her belt, and she can definitely, she can definitely pin people against each other. We know that, so
Fair enough.
That'll be cool.
I don't know if she has the she has like a little bit of the resume stuff, but as we know, it's like this game is huge on connections, and I hate to say this, but I don't know if she's completely burned every single bridge in the game, but I just think a lot of people would vote other people to win over her. You know what I mean? Yeah, hate to say, because yeah.
Fair enough. All right, moving forward, we have a similar situation, but we've seen a lot of this person's game throughout. Geneva, I can't get no satisfaction. People are threatening her with these day votes, like, you're not going to get my day vote. Do you believe that? Do you think if she does make it to the end, she will win, or do you think she still has some stuff to do?
I think that Geneva has done an excellent job, like fighting to keep herself in the game. The thing I would say she hasn't really done is I don't feel like she's been the one deciding who everybody's voting for. She hasn't really been calling the shots. So like I think if she orchestrated some of that, then then everybody would be like, I don't know, like pissed at her versus just like people, I don't know, like everyone who's on the jury so far is just like mad that they're not, they're like mad that she's in and they're not, because like she was at the bottom for so long and like is still there. So just like it upsets like what I guess the people on the jury would consider the natural order of things. Like even from like their original tribe or whatever. But like I think if she like orchestrates people going out, like that kind of thing, like that would be like a nice thing to add to her resume. But like I think her resume is pretty full. Like an objective like jury, she would definitely get votes.
Yeah, I think she has a good enough resume and like a external enough resume that like she would be a very much like, I don't know, clear cut, but like definitely like a fairly obvious person to win. Of course, depends who else is up there. But that being said, I think other people know that, and I think she would be quite lucky to get to the final tribal just because how outwardly good she is and how she could very easily win if she was in the finals,
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. And last but not least, we have our final person, the remaining of the Maroon 5 alliance, you can say. I gave her Summer. I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz. So Summer is an interesting spot now. She's final 6. She has talked with Mike and Derek, and as Derek alluded to Derek might make the move to work with Summer to get out Austin or Geneva. Do you think this is something that could be hinting towards next episode? Do you think this will actually happen? And what do you think about Summer? Do you think she'll be able to make it to the end? And if she gets it there, is it a really good shot for her to win based off the jury? What do you guys think?
I think she'll definitely pull something next week. It's her last shot, I think. She's the last, number 9, as you said. So she has nothing to lose at this point. So you might as well go balls to the wall. So I don't know if she'll make it to the final tribal, but I think she can get close. It'll be really awesome to watch her play.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine saying balls to the wall is the highlight of my
Yeah, I'm ready for her to tear it up. This episode, it was just so predictable. So I'm ready, for things to switch it up.
Oh yeah. Let's take a look at these comments before we sign up. So Derek, voting Aaron was the best vote I cast in the entire season. Erica says. Erica, also probably the scariest moment of the season for me. It really is a test. I mean, you guys have all played Survivor. One thing can go one way, aka Derek could have been out week 1, and as Erica alluded to, Hannah could have been out second of that tribe instead of Noah. Who knows what this game would have been? We could have seen Mitch having the same game as Geneva. I mean, who knows? Derek, you saying week 1 was the reason I made it past week 2, being the snake, so thank you. That's true. That's also true. If Derek was out week 1 with the snake thing, that could have dictated the whole entire snake format. People could have been just targeting the snake. Wild. That's a good point. To definitely set the tone for the rest of the season. 100%. It could have been totally different if the snake was just targeted. So I'd rather have this variation of the snake than the other way, I guess. Mm-hmm. With that said, so we have the final 6. I guess it's now time for winners picks, maybe final 2 picks, and who do you guys think is going to be next on the chopping block? Valentina, I'm pretty sure you know, so I'm gonna not talk to you for this, but Lydia and Catherine, feel free to tell us who do you think is going to be out next and who do you think is going to win?
For me, I think Geneva can win it all. She's played a great game. I'm definitely a fan of her now. So I would like her to win, and maybe I think Austin or potentially Mike if things backfire on him. So yeah, I think they could be out next.
Interesting. And Lydia?
I want Geneva to win, but I think, if everyone makes the best decision for their game, she'll probably be the next person voted out. Unless Addie decides that she actually wants to stick with Geneva instead of Mike, that kind of thing. And then there'll be some sort of flip to get Geneva out. And then the way I see the end going is probably a final 2 with Addie and Austin. Yeah. And then Austin's probably my winner's pick right now.
Fair enough. I do have to bring up
Joe Sacamano is my winner's pick.
Joe Sacamano is a great winner's pick. A great winner's pick. Let's see. I do want to bring up a good question. So this is the last episode that we see in-person challenge. We're all moving to Zoom, RIP, and especially with tribal councils over Zoom. Do you think it'll be easier if a flip were to happen this next episode because you're not sitting next to the people at tribal? What do you guys think?
It could be easier to lie about it. You could just be texting of if you want to flip right then and there. So that's definitely an interesting element being online with the rest of this season and future seasons during the pandemic. So
I, was in season 3 and we did have there were tribals through Zoom, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily I guess different aspects of it make it easier or harder to because you're voting for somebody, but when it is on Zoom or whatever, you have to stare at everybody's face. You can't just look at the ground or look straight ahead and ignore them or pretend whatever. You have to watch like whoever's name be read, even if it's, you know, and that doesn't like feel good, or like you have to be more careful about your face because, you know, everyone can like blatantly look at your face, so they can't hide it. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier.
It's interesting. I didn't think about that.
I will say, and I just thought of this, and especially with Mike, I think paranoia could really, really get to people now. Just with the isolation and with like when you're with someone like face to face, body language is so much like clearer. And when communication is altered and you kind of have to get used to that, it's an adjustment. And I think, it's like I said, especially with Mike, he's already getting really paranoid. Derek too, even though this week was a little bit less so, but like I could absolutely see them being like super, super paranoid, despite having the connections, just because you never know what someone else is doing. They're in their own place. They're, you know what I mean? They're doing their own thing.
That is true. I guess we'll just have to see what happens with the final 6 as we wind down to the final 2. That being said, the next challenge is, and also screenshots, Erica says that's true. The next challenge is a Fibbage and House Party challenge. If anyone's aware of Jackbox TV, that is the first challenge for Zoom. Don't worry, the challenges are still great. The content is still great, even though it's over Zoom, as well as the vlogs are still just at their personal homes. With that said, thank you 3 for joining me for this discussion. I will now give each of you the opportunity to boast whatever you want, social media, current projects you're working on. I don't know, whatever you want to do. So I'll start off with Lydia for the solo layout. Valentina, I'll hold you the last, just because.
Yeah, I don't have anything to plug because I'm not TRF like a billion other people. But you could follow me on Instagram. It's Lydia, Lydia, as well below C, Engel, Engel. Always looking for free clout.
Fair enough. And you guys will be able to see Lydia in the next upcoming season, Survivor Syracuse Season 3. So get ready for her there. Catherine, you're up.
Hi. I'm also looking for a job. I'm an accounting major. So anyone out there watching this, I'm ready. So you can add me on LinkedIn at Catherine Smith and on Instagram at Catherine Smith 57. So yeah.
That is true. Catherine is a great teammate. We've worked in countless marketing and management projects together. Highly recommend. Also, I am looking for a job as well. I just got denied from Peloton Bike. Jesus Christ. I love
That's
those.
all right.
That is not right. I'm like, damn, I'm going to get a knockoff brand now. Last but not least, Valentina, say whatever you need to say.
Hi, hello, I'm Valentina. Follow me on Instagram, Valentina Velasquez _. Follow me on Twitter, Val _Velasquez. You've been warned. I tweet a lot of out-of-pocket things. Also, add me on LinkedIn, please. I am looking for a job. What else? Oh, please submit freaking memes. I am losing my creativity, y'all. So DM Syrvivor Syracuse, the account on Instagram or Twitter. I will send you the form. I promise you your meme will be there if you send it to me and it's not offensive or anything. So anyway, submit memes.
Right enough. We'll have a little poll question thing, Bob, in the Instagram just for that. And yeah, so thank everyone for watching. If you made it this far, congrats to you. That said, thank you, Lydia, Catherine, Valentina, once again. We'll be back next Thursday with a fresh new discussion cast post-show following that episode. Figures to be a really good one. And everyone have a good night. Thank you.